I'll start with the 10% of the so-called 70-20-10 methodology. Yeah, let's talk about the 10. So what is 10? 10 basically, this is where we share the webinar or the seminar, the idea in this culture of champion. And when we talk about creating the right mindset, or rather desired mindset, yeah, so we are focusing on 4 mindset. If you hear what the leaders in Tenaga, whenever they give their so-called sharing or their speech, yeah, many of them, they talk about one of these so-called ideas that we can see here. Yeah, we talk about having growth mindset, leadership mindset, business mindset, and collaborative mindset. And you ask me, the way I look at it, many people only talk about this idea, but didn't show it specifically how to go about developing the so-called mindset. Yeah, and this is what we did in the 10% of the 70-20-10. We share a very simple but very practical idea how to develop this so-called mindset in yourself. Yeah, while you do your work. This is very important. It must be something that linked back to your so-called context, which is your work. Yeah. So from our experience, we are able to develop this 4 mindset also. It will also lead us to be agile, yeah, in our so-called in our work, yeah, and also it will create what we call an innovative it will create an innovative culture among us, yeah. So this is what we did by attacking these 4 methods. It killed many birds, yeah, with one stone, yeah. So let me go quickly to explain what we cover under each so-called under each topic. Yeah. Okay, let's go for growth mindset. Yeah. When we talk about growth mindset, as mentioned here, we can see that in the VUCA world, in order for us to survive this VUCA world, many scholars saying that we need to have growth mindset. So again, how to go about what we call having growth mindset. So in this particular module, yeah, we're going to talk about starting by knowing who you are. That's where we introduce the concept of stick person. And then from that concept, we were able to see how a typical human operates. Yeah. And from there on, once you know how yourself operate, then only we can see how the best way to what we call this, to utilize ourselves, yeah, in order to achieve something. All this basically will lead us to what we call growth mindset. Yeah. So in a nutshell, outcome from this so-called program, yeah, we're going to have this. On the left side, that would be the so-called stick person concept, which from there you can see the 4 main elements of human being, of all of us, yeah. And then how you're going to utilize yourself to achieve the ikigai, or the Japanese concept, meaning a reason for being. So all these ideas basically will lead you to what I call growth mindset. Yeah, simple idea, but then again, not many people aware about it. Yeah. Okay. After completing this growth mindset, then we will go for creating what we call leadership mindset. In the VUCA world, you like it or not, we need to lead. Everyone is a leader. Everyone needs to be a leader. Yeah. So in this idea, or rather in this program, we're going to cover a very simple tools, a simple so-called framework, concept, if I may say, yeah, being utilized in Tenaga, yeah, and this has been subscribed as the way how we develop leadership in Tenaga by utilizing the FED concept, which is Future, Engage, Deliver. Yeah, so we can see here we could recover this question. Though it looks so simple, but then again, not many people aware about it. Outcome from this program, we going to what we call, this will be the outcome of this program, but you can see leadership basically will be that enabler for us to achieve any goal. Yeah, obviously we want the result or outcome from that, and we define leadership as future engaged leader as stated on the screen. Yeah. Okay, this will be program number 2. Yeah. So upon completing this program, then later we will introduce the third module. Then this is where we to cover how to help the participant to develop business mindset, yeah, in their work. Yeah, not talking about doing business per se. This basically key we tailor-made towards working people. So in this program, we're going to utilize tools, yeah, namely business model canvas or BMC, yeah, and this basically we do some tweaking here to align this idea for people, for working people, yeah. So the outcome from this program basically that they're able to see their work from business point of view by utilizing the so-called business model canvas table. Yeah. So the beauty of this business model canvas, yeah, with only one piece of paper, you can define the entirety of your work or your project. Yeah. So this make it very focused. It will make it very specific, and God willing, you're not going to miss any important points that you need to know about that particular task. Yeah. So these tools will help us to develop that leadership mindset. Business mindset. And last but not least, as we fully aware nowadays, yeah, collaborative is very, very important. And if you look at from any suggestion from the top so-called consultant in the world, yeah, they always rank collaborative so-called capability as the top 10 capability required in the next 5 years. Yeah. So for that, we're going to share a very basic concept about creating collaborative mindset, and what we have, what we call prepared here, basically based on the latest idea about how to develop collaborative mindset. Without these so-called basic elements, it's very difficult about developing this collaborative mindset. And the outcome from this collaborative mindset basically is 3 ideas. That in order to ensure that we can collaborate, and we see that we're able to collaborate, in other words, we among us in the team members need to have trust in order for us to be able to execute the assignment. So the 3 main elements that need to be within that particular group, we need the right skill, the clarity of what we need to do, and also what we need to do, and last but not least, having psychological safety in particular group. Yeah. So with all this, it will help us to create trust in the team, and also this is very important for us to achieve, rather to deliver the assignment. Yeah. So that is the 4 main module that we're going to share in order to influence us to create the right mindset at work. This is the 10% element in that 70-20-10 learning methodology. Now, let's move on to the 70% part of that 70-20-10. Yeah, we just cover the 10%. Once you attend the program, you can see from the so-called learning journey here, we start with the program, and then we'll continue by giving the participant an opportunity to utilize the idea from the seminar into their assignment. Okay, so let me explain about the assignment, the 70% part portion of the learning methodology. So when we talk about the 70%, what we did, first and foremost, to acquire the ability from the knowledge gained from the seminar or the webinar, participants must apply the knowledge in their assignment that align with their responsibilities or their KPIs. Normally, in order to create the buy-in, or that is, we are serious about it, we will sit down with the head of the department, yeah? So that the department, the head will decide what sort of projects or assignment, projects in their work, will be the assignment for this particular intervention. Yeah. So For instance, the assignment can be identified from the perspective of unit head's responsibility. For example, we have this structure, for example. So let's say this particular department, they have 3 units. And what we did, we invite the department head to assign what project that will be the assignment for each group. Yeah, and that particular assignment will be utilized as the so-called projects in this particular COC. Why this is important? If you ask me personally, by getting the head to define each particular project for the unit, this will ensure buy-in from the head and support from him or her. Yeah, that's number one. And number two, by having a specific project in their own so-called their own work, yeah, this is to ensure they really take it seriously when they apply the idea from the seminar into the assignment. This is very important, yeah. So that this is what I said, creating the focus to the context, yeah. So this is the 70 portion about it. Now let's go into the last portion of the 70-20-10, yeah. This is where we talk about mainly on coaching, yeah. So when we talk about coaching, we use the most so-called, I think I would like to say, the popular model for coaching, the GROW model. Basically, identify the goal and then define your reality and then try to understand what option that you have. And then last but not least, we figure out what will be our way forward. So in order to utilize this, throughout this so-called coaching session, we keep what we call focusing on this matter by asking these 5 basic questions. Yeah, this will be so-called the main question that we're going to discuss throughout the coaching session. Starting with question number 1, do I understand the knowledge? Number 2, how can this knowledge help me? Do I know how to practice this knowledge? Am I practicing this knowledge? And last but not least, when you practice the knowledge, what lesson learned from the so-called that you gain from this particular knowledge application? Yeah. And speaking about ESG, yeah, when we talk about ESG, since we are talking about developing the right culture for ESG, we need to talk about ESG specific with regards to the assignment. How we do it? So this is what we do. Yeah. So for example, the team assignment, let's say XYZ. So that will be the assignment. Yeah. And then we will invite the team member, yeah, to discuss in the team assignment what is the current practice or issue with regard to environmental, social, or governance. This will be the so-called what they encounter in their assignment. List it down, and then based on that current practice and issue, then we invite them in order to find ways on how to improve whatever practice or issue with regards to environmental, social, and governance that they can do on that particular assignment. So the way we look at it from our experience, when we do all this, this is to ensure the people talking about ESG in a very specific manner, and it is focused to their assignment. And just imagine if we keep doing this over and over a period of time, whether they're aware or not aware, they became very, what we call this, intimate with the idea of ESG. Yeah, and in order to do this so-called, to help them to talk or have a conversation on this matter, we have what we call here some guideline, what they need to focus on when they talk about environmental, social, and governance. Yeah, so this is all the idea, and this is what they're going to discuss from time to time, either during coaching or during conversation or harder, what we want to call it, yeah, so that they become more intimate with the idea ESG through their assignment. So having said all this, basically this is what we have in the 70-20-10 methodology. Yeah, And if you look at let me explain how it goes here, how the journey looks like here. So if you can see here, it's all start with the introduction and then followed by the webinar or seminar number 1, which is the growth mindset. And as you can see, after that, within 2 to 3 weeks, the team, we're able to apply the idea that they learn in the seminar or webinar into their so-called assignment. So after that 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to have coaching session, whereby each group will go through a group coaching, and then after completing the coaching, we will enter the second webinar, and then it will repeat again as the first module until the last module, And in between module 2 and module 3, we're going to have what we call a sharing session by each team, on what they have encountered, what is their takeaway, because I think this sharing session is very important, whereby we can learn from each other. Because this is an adult learning, so I believe that everyone will bring something new to the table. This is very important, that they will make things very lively. And from our experience doing this training, many people from the particular group, they really they said coaching session is important, because this is where they be able to, we have to have a two-way discussion, more specific to their assignment or whatever things that they are going through. This will make their understanding, bring their understanding to a different level, to the higher level. Then I believe here, my dear friends here, when you go through all this, you can see that slowly but surely, you can see the so-called, if you really follow through all this, with support from the leaders and whatnot, you can see slowly the mindset will start to change. This is what we gain, and that's why it takes 4 months, because we cannot do all this within 4 days or 4 hours. We need time. The essence here is the time. By going through these 4 months, slowly but surely, we were able to influence the mindset. And I think that's the little secret. If you really want to be able to what they call this, to influence the mindset. Okay. I mentioned about tools in this particular program, that we leverage on many tools in order to be more specific on the idea. What we have here in the nutshell, basically you can see here in each module, starting from a preparatory program to the growth mindset, business mindset, quality mindset, leadership mindset, we have a specific tools to assist us to create what we call this clarity, or what should I say here, more specific on that particular method. So this is basically the tools that we use.